On our very momentous day is also Pieter Elbers, CEO at IndiGo Aviation, joining it in the show right now. Peter, thank you so much for taking the time out and joining us on our birthday as we turn 15.
Hello, good morning. Well, first of all, congratulations. Thank you for having me. Congratulations on this very momentous day indeed.
And what a glorious last 15 years, Peter, it's been for you at IndiGo as well, right? Because you've become a dominant player in the aviation industry, and I can't think of any other airline globally which has a domestic market share of more than 60% in such a large market like India. Now, post-ruling the Indian skies, Peter, how is it that you see and plan to increase your dominance in the international markets?
Well, thank you. Well, today is not about IndiGo. Today is about you, really. Again, congratulations. And ET Now has done really a great job of delivering compelling and informative news and opinions on India's business landscape. And the in-depth reporting on the aviation sector itself has been really commendable. And thank you for your dedication to journalism and bringing us the stories that matters. And I, once again, congratulate you. I mean, to your question on IndiGo's international expansion plans, indeed, that's one of the pillars of our strategy. And as we go forward, we continue to build on that. And India, I think, for a long time had a relatively low share when it comes to the share of Indian carriers on the international landscape. And we feel this is really a good moment for India and IndiGo to start grabbing some of that share out there.
All right, how very kind of you to, shower those compliments on us. But I just want to talk a little bit more as well about the progress that has been made by IndiGo, because you've been leasing aircraft, you've ordered larger aircraft quite recently, in fact, and that really shows the intent of really going big when it comes to the long-haul routes. But just wanted to understand, are you looking at more direct flights to the West? Are you looking at really focusing on these long-haul routes now as a strategy?
Well, absolutely. IndiGo has built up in the last almost 18 years, so I think we're about the same age. So IndiGo has really built up in the past 18 years a very impressive position in the Indian market itself, whereby today we serve 88 domestic destinations and a little over 400 different routes. If you look at international, though, we do 33 destinations today, and they're pretty much in the region. And some of the regional, and I would say beyond regional expansions, which we recently did, starting flights into Africa, starting flights into Indonesia, and starting flights into Central Asia, have been extremely encouraging. So we've seen high loads actually on all of these new destinations and routes. And clearly the Indian consumers and the Indian travelers are taking off for a much more international travel orientation than probably we have ever seen before. And clearly our recent order of wide bodies will further expand that range. That's only 27. Prior to that, we have the Airbus XLR coming in, and that will bring us really into the southern parts of Europe and the further into Asia as well. And with that, we're very confident that this will allow the Indian consumers to fly directly to many destinations indeed.
Right. Peter, IndiGo has changed in these last 15 years from being a single service, single fleet type airline. It will now be having multiple fleet types and dual class services in the near future. We also understand that, the normal cost of growth for an airline, but should one be concerned as in India, we have seen multiple airlines fail in the past who have adopted this strategy? Are you worried about that?
No, maybe I'll make a little comparison there. When your esteemed company started to operate 15 years ago, look how India has changed in these 15 years. Look how India has changed in the last 5 to 10 years, really. So what has been the foundation of the success of IndiGo will continue to be the very core and the very basis of what we do. And there's still millions and millions of first-time flyers out there in the Indian market, which we'll be happy to serve going forward. Having said that, the Indian landscape is changing. And if we see today some of the busiest and business routes of the nation, we feel that this is the right moment to step forward and making sure that that new market segment and all those millions of travelers with aspirations to fly differently also be able to accommodate them on IndiGo flights.
Right. Peter, one thing that has led to the success of IndiGo is also the kind of moat that you have on cost, right? Will adapting to the strategy of multiple fleet and dual class in any way dilute your cost moat, you think?
Absolutely not. I think the focus of IndiGo, IndiGo has been building up that strong position thanks to our cost leadership, and we continue to do that. And of course, with the enormous fleet order we're having and the almost 1,000 planes we have on order, that means that our size will continue to grow. Efficiencies will be there to kick in. So we continue to have the focus on keeping our cost leadership to compete domestic, and even more so to compete international. And I would say, if we look to the geographical position of India, 65% of the world population really is living within a 5 to 6 hour range from India. If we maintain our cost leadership in that range, I think IndiGo is very well positioned to continue to build on that success story.
That sounds very promising. And given that we've seen as well the traffic growth, though, in the domestic market, while of course we are seeing a lot of first-time travelers, things are picking up, but just off late, it's been, a low single digits on a year-on-year basis in terms of the traffic growth. Of course, seasonality as a factor gets ruled out because we're looking at a year-on-year comparison. But I just wanted to understand what factors you'd be attributing to that. Is it because of lower affordability of customers, given that prices haven't significantly lowered, or is it lower capacity additions, or maybe infra growth that would be leading to this?
Yeah, I would say there's a couple of dynamics. If you look to the numbers in May, clearly the capacity growth has been limited. IndiGo has been dealing with some of the supply chain challenges we're having, and it's not only IndiGo, it's also other airlines who are dealing with that. So capacity growth has been less than the year before. Having said that, IndiGo has committed to a number of capacity growth, which we last year have been able to deliver, and we're confident that also this year we'll be able to deliver that number. We are very confident actually that the market growth will continue to be there, and once the capacity will further grow, we see that momentum further gaining. And I think last year May was also a bit of a specific month, so a month-over-month comparison is always a bit of a challenging part. Looking to the big picture, taking a step back and see where the Indian economy is today, where the outlook for the Indian economy is, we feel actually very confident that that traffic will continue to grow going forward.
Peter, just one last question from my side is that in terms of global foray, how will that improve the yields, the improved yields that you're seeing there, as well as how much of the global business do you think will come for the company in the next 3 years? What is the share that one could expect from the global side of your revenue pie?
We have today in the range of 27% of our available seat kilometers is on the international network. We have mentioned earlier that share is growing towards 30%. That actually number was released prior to the announcement on the wide body aircraft. So clearly with wide body it will grow further. We have not yet released a new objective when it comes to what should be the international share, but clearly that will go forward. I think for the Indian consumers to have more direct international flights, to fly from Delhi to a lot of points in Europe and Asia, to fly from Mumbai to points, to fly from Bangalore and Hyderabad, that will clearly help us to serve these customers flying directly to some international destinations rather than having to transfer either in the Gulf or in Southeast Asia.
All right, Pieter, thank you so much for joining in with us this day on ET Now. It's a pleasure having you on the show. And thank you so much for those warm wishes as well. Hope to see you more often. But on that note, we're going to...
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.